It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to discuss Warren Buffett selling 5 million shares of HP stock. If you look on the Sharp interactive board, it says, did Buffett just give Enrique Loris the warning? I believe he did. I believe, Enrique Loris is telling the financial world and telling his investors how wonderful the hybrid worker is for HP and how they're going to sell all these millions and millions and millions of subscriptions and how the world's just fantastic and HP is going to kill it and we're so undervalued we need to spend all of our billions of dollars buying back our own shares. You see, Warren, he's tired of listening to that horse shit. So Enrique's talking to other people about that. And in the meantime, Mr. Buffett says, you know what, let me just give him a warning. Let me sell 5 million shares of stock. And boy, when he did it, the share price fell 6%. Could you imagine if Warren Buffett sold his entire stake? What would have happened? Enrique, you better pay attention to the warning. Because Warren still has just about 12% of the company. And he's got a pretty good sway in that board of directors. And I believe this was the board's warning and this was Enrique's warning to clean that company up and get it on the right track. Running around over the last few years talking about how the shares were undervalued, talking about the crazy hybrid worker and how HP was going to benefit from all of that. And look at some of the things they've done over the last few years. They don't manage notebook counts anymore. Don't do that. We don't want people to know how few of those we're selling. They bought a company called Poly that did revenues of $1.7 billion. Where'd all that go? Ladies and gentlemen, right now, 9 months in, they're almost $9 billion behind last year's number as a total company. It's safe to say that it's pretty much falling right off a cliff. And I'm thinking Warren Buffett does not need $158 million that bad. I mean, what did they do? Raise the prices at the Omaha Steakhouse? I don't think so. I think he was giving Enrique a warning. And Enrique, you better pay attention to the warning. Ladies and gentlemen, you've all seen the article. Berkshire sold shares this week for $158 million, reducing its HP stake to about $3.27 billion, according to a filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't a big deal for Warren. $158 million. I mean, really? Come on. I'm telling you, this was a warning. There was also, let me just read this. On Monday, the company announced that it had material weakness in its controls over financial reporting, which related to one of its customers and a payment application for some sales incentive programs. Well, you know, if you go back in time with HP, you go back to like 2010, big lawsuit around shenanigans with finances, let's just say that. What is this? What is all this about with HP? Do y'all know what a material weakness is? I got the definition here for you. Let me read it to you. A material weakness is one or more of the company's internal controls, activities, rules, and processes designed to prevent significant financial statement irregularities and improve operation efficiency is ineffective. So there's something ineffective. Can't wait to find out what that is. But ladies and gentlemen, this whole fantasy that Enrique had about their shares being undervalued and all this nonsense, when Buffett bought that stuff back last May, I thought, what the hell are you doing, Warren? That stuff's not undervalued. It was way overvalued at that time. It's just falling off a cliff, and it's never going back to $40 a share. They're evaporating revenue like crazy. They haven't innovated in decades. And they spent all their money buying back their own shares. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the reality. We're 9 months in to their year. Okay, these numbers are 9 months in. They're just about ready to end their fourth quarter. But let's look where they're at. 9 months into this fiscal year for them. They are $8.2 billion below last year's number. $8.2 billion. Now I want you all to think about something. This year was the year that they had all the Poly revenue. Well, 9 months worth of Poly revenue is about $1.3 billion. Where's that money at? So if you factor in that $1.3 billion that they should have been billing on Poly, which was additional revenue, a company they bought, that means they're $9.5 billion below last year. 9 months in. That's an alarm bell. That's a screaming alarm bell. There's a problem. That's why HP decided not to count the notebooks anymore. That's why they're not being so forthright on their financials anymore, explaining to you what commercial and consumer and supply business is. They're trying to hide more stuff. Anytime someone's trying to hide stuff, you better look a little bit deeper. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring that up because on all their financials, they would say this, and they would say commercial includes office printing solutions, including commercial products and OEM hardware, graphic solutions, 3D printing, and digital manufacturing, excluding supplies. Consumer includes home printing solutions, excluding supplies. And they would try to explain that to you, and it was on the financials every single presentation. Until when? Until this year, they took it off. Don't dig too deep into that. Let people assume what things are. Maybe they'll feel better about it. Let's look at some realities for this first 9 months in our printing business, okay? The supply business is off by $382 million between 9 months of 2023 and 2022. Total revenue off in the whole printing group is $758 million, nearly $1 billion. They've had 8 straight quarters of declines in supplies, and the supplies is the holy grail. We all know that, right? I don't know why the financial community is so obsessed with the PC business. It seems when they talk about HP and their decline, they're talking about the PC business. Well, I get it. PCs are important, and obviously HP's fallen off the cliff. They're not selling enough of them. But at the end of the day, the print business is where all their money's coming from. I did a little bit of math for y'all. I want to share this with you. If you look at the printing business, they did 18.6% operating profit. That's a pretty good number. No doubt about it. If you look at the personal systems group, it does 6.6% operating profit. So I want you all to think about something. For every $1 billion in revenue in printing, they generate $186 million in operating profit. For every $1 billion in revenue in the print sector, they generate $186 million in operating profit. For every $1 billion in the personal systems, they generate $66 million. So you can see, ladies and gentlemen, it's like 3 to 1. The more this printing business declines, it's going to be really, really painful. And this average of 8.8% is going to slowly get lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. And then the whole damn company is just going to fall right off a cliff. I want you all to think about this. I went back to the year 2018. And when you look at the revenue in the print business from 2018, and you look where we're going to be, actually, I just compared it to the year 2022. From 2018 to 2022, it was a $1.9 billion decline. They declined in print revenue by $1.9 billion. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, $1.8 billion of that was in supplies. This isn't good by any stretch of the imagination. When that number gets to be about 5 or 6 billion decline from that 2017, 2018 number, that's when that thing's going to just collapse. And I don't think we're that far away from that. So let me just wrap it up by telling you all this. Anybody that believes that Warren Buffett needs $158 million and he's willing to lose 30% of his investment to get it without more of a story, you're nuts. And I believe more of the story is this. Enrique, you better get that crap fixed over there. Or the board, they need to make some serious changes. Because everybody watching me knows this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.